everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be making some pumpkin cake donuts with a cheesecake swirl and a brown butter crumble on top and a little vanilla drizzle. It's a one bowl recipe, so I'm not going to use the stand mixer. I can just whisk it by hand. I'm very excited. Let's see how they come out. So I'm going to measure out all my wet ingredients first. So we have 120 grams of oil. I'm going to use some avocado oil. You can use any neutral flavor oil. Also, I just like to use things up, and I want to get rid of this bottle because I just had a little left. Then I need 2 eggs. I'm going to do my brown sugar. I need 100 grams of brown sugar. And 50 grams of regular sugar. I'll have this whole recipe linked in the description below. I'm making the same recipe for the cake that I just made for my sister's birthday party, and everyone really loved it, but I'm gonna add my own little twist to it this time. I need a little vanilla, like 3/4 a teaspoon. I need 7.5 ounces of pumpkin. And of course I have this gigantic tub of pumpkin, but that'll be okay. I'll use it for something else. I made a pumpkin curry a couple weeks ago, and that was really good, so I could use it for that as well. You know, I can use it for a lot of different things. 7.5 ounces. So that's all my wet ingredients. I'm gonna do my dry ingredients in here just so I can sift it before I add it to my wet. I need 125 grams of all-purpose flour. I need a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, 3/4 a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then my little twist, I love adding black pepper to spicy, fall spiced things. It just gives it like a little extra. That's what it gives it. Okay, so I'm gonna whisk this up. Okay, I'm just gonna whisk this up really good. Okay, I'm gonna add my dry right onto my wet. That up. I'm just gonna whisk it until it doesn't have any more chunks in it. At the donut shop I worked at, we whisked all of our glazes by hand. So we all had like calluses on our hands from the whisk. So I really like to whisk things by hand and pretty good at it. It's fun. So there we go. Now I'm gonna put it in a piping bag, and we're gonna pipe them into this donut cake pan. First, I need to make the cheesecake swirl that I'm gonna be adding. So I'm just gonna take some of this cream cheese and just soften it in the microwave. I want it pretty liquidy so I can pipe it in between the cake layers. Woo! Perfect. So I'm gonna put the cake batter into this bag. Just makes it so much easier if you can put the bag on anything tall like this, so it won't spill all over the place. I'm gonna put my cream cheese filling in here. You hold this. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so I have my cream cheese filling, my cake batter. I'm gonna put this in the fridge while the oven's preheating, and I'm gonna make the streusel to go on top. For this brown butter streusel that I'm making, I'm gonna start by browning some butter. And I keep it moving so that it'll cook evenly and not burn. As soon as the solids separate from the butter, those are what's gonna turn brown, and it'll start smelling really good. This is an easy way to enhance like any recipe. It's almost there. I think that looks perfect. To make the crumb, I'm gonna do 1 cup of flour and 1/2 cup of sugar, a pinch of salt, a dribble of vanilla, a sprinkle of the pumpkin pie spice. Oh no, I broke it. You know, I'm gonna wear a glove because I don't want to get my hands all gross. Okay. So I'm gonna mix this all together. Now I'm just gonna add enough of this till this comes together. So it's kind of like just doing it by eye. And make sure you let your butter cool a little bit so you don't burn yourself. You definitely want to get all those like brown bits on the bottom because that's really like where the flavor is. It's kind of like the best part. And I like to use my hand because you can really squeeze it in there, and when you're using like a fork, which works too, it just takes longer and you can't really get the feel for it. I like to feel all the things I make, you know? Yeah, so you want to be able to squeeze it and it stay together. That is perfect. Now that I have all my elements done, I'm gonna spray my pans and assemble it. So I really don't want these to like overflow, you know? That's like the hardest part about making it in these pans. So I'm just gonna do a little bit on the bottom, just enough to coat the bottom. And then we're gonna do our cream cheese layer. Oh my gosh, I'm just like really also excited about this. I want to be able to cut it open and see a whole like layer of cream cheese in the middle. That'll be so good. I haven't made these before. I'm just like winging this. Looks like I might have the perfect amount of cream cheese. Now I'm gonna do the rest of the cake on top. I'm gonna just fill it up to the top there and make sure that all the filling is covered. When the batter is pretty liquidy like this, you gotta kind of move fast, and I'll tilt it up so that it won't spill everywhere. So for half of these, I'm gonna put the crumb on now. And then for the other ones, I'm gonna try baking the crumb, giving it a little glaze, and putting the baked crumb on it and see which one looks better. Okay, now I'm gonna put these in the oven. I think I'm gonna bake them for 5 minutes, rotate, and then another 5 minutes, and we'll see how that does. And for the rest of this crumb, I'm just gonna bake it with those on the bottom. I love brown butter. These look so good. I can tell that they're done because when I touch it, it like springs back, but you can also do a toothpick test if you'd like. So, well, it has the cream cheese on it, so maybe that won't work for this. But when you touch it and it springs back, that's how you know it's good. So I'm gonna let these cool, and while they're cooling, I'm gonna make my glaze for these ones, and I'm gonna also use it for drizzle on these ones. We got some powdered sugar, that much, yeah. And I'm gonna add a sprinkle of some spice, beautiful. I'll usually add water to make a glaze, but you can also use milk. It all works. So I'm gonna start with that. It's always like way less liquid than you'd think. I have a habit of making way too much glaze at work because I'm so used to making huge amounts of glaze for donuts. Okay, you want it to be pretty like stiff because I don't want it to like run off and be see-through. You want it to be a nice thick glaze on top, you know, like an icing. That looks perfect. This crumb looks perfect. I baked this also for probably like 15 minutes. I'm gonna dump these out now. Okay. Yay. They're so like light and fluffy. I'm just gonna take this super tiny cutter and cut this little middle out so it looks more donut-y, you know? It's like the perfect size. Ah. I got those cake pans at the thrift store. They were like brand new, so nice. They were waiting for me to come take them home. So since I'm only drizzling these 6, if you don't have like a piping bag or you wanna like save them for big projects, I'm just gonna use a sandwich bag. This should be good. I'll just cut the little tip off of there. This is gonna be so good. So those ones are done. And yeah, I still have all this, so it really doesn't need like a lot at all. Now these ones, got my crumb and my glaze. Dip it right in there. And if you want it the really easy way, which was that first way, which also looks really, really good. They just look like the perfect pumpkin crumb cake donut. And if you want to do it the extra step way. Okay, then we're just going to sprinkle it with our crumb. You want to make sure that your glaze doesn't get a chance to set up before you get to crumb in it. So maybe do 2, put the crumb on them, glaze 2, put the crumb. And there we go. We have a dozen perfect pumpkin cake donuts with a cheesecake swirl in there to wow all your friends. Now it's time to taste them. Oh, cute! I love it. That baked so nicely in there. It's really, really good. The cake is so light and the cream cheese is like really smooth. So it's like tangy, spicy. I love the glaze on it and the little crumble. We'll try the other option with the glaze and the crumb that's baked. I would say they both taste the same because it's the same ingredients. But it's just based off of however you want it to look, I guess. These are really good. These were so quick and fun to make. They look so much fancier than they are. And let me know which design you like better. I like both of them, I can't decide. And let me know if you do make them because I would love to hear. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.